Shalom, this is Yehudit from Sfat, back in Denver, Colorado, and I want to share with you the movements I do for the 31st day of the 40 days of challenge and centering. We're moving into a new cycle. We've done 3 cycles, full cycles so far. We're on the beginning of the 4th. So we're working with the divine name Adonai, which we've been spelling backwards. So the first cycle was going from Malchut to Keter with the Yud of Adonai, and then down, that was for the world of Asiya, and then down from Keter to Malchut, ending on Tisha B'Av, which was the Nun of Adonai, the world of Yetzirah. Then we just finished going up from Malchut to Keter in the world of Bria, the mental world. And now we're in the level of Asilut with the Alef, the oneness. But the oneness Alef is both one and a thousand, so it's a multiplicity and the unity together. And the Alef is a wonderful letter that includes, and this one I do as forward to you. So it would be the Alef has a Vav in it from your fingertips to your heel, and a hanging Yud, I call it, and a supporting Yud. So it actually is an equivalent to the Yud K Vav K. A Vav is 6, and each Yud is 10, so 26 is equivalent to Yud K Vav K, which, you know, a Yud and a Hey is 5, 2 Heys are 10, the Yud is another 10, and the Vav is 6, so 26. So the Aleph has all kinds of extra connotations as a letter, particularly since the Torah starts with a bet and the bet has a little point behind it. This points back to the Aleph before creation. So it represents the Yud K Vav K. In that way too, as well as the unity that we're aiming for in our work, and the centeredness and the groundedness that we want for each of our challenges. So we're at Keter. Again, we had Keter yesterday. And I don't know if I mentioned in my video, but I had been taking you up the last cycle through the Dalet in the different worlds and the different souls that we can have from Malchut, the soul of the Nefesh level of Asiya, and the Yetzirah has the Ruach level of soul, and Bina, which is the world of Bria, has the Neshama level of soul. And then we mentioned, I think when we did Chachma, that is at a Asiya level is the Chaya level of soul, the aliveness level of soul. And then Yehida, it was the final level yesterday when we got to Keter. And each of those I had a different Dalet. Well, I just have the one Aleph that we're going to use all the way down from Keter to Malchut. And the colors change slightly. I'm using white for Keter, and I'm using, at the moment, my scarf is kind of purple and blue because the Aleph is the pathway between Hesed and Gevurah. In the rainbow system, that's between the blue of Hesed and the purple of Hesed and the blue of Gevurah. Now in the Zohar, that would be a white and a red. So I'm not sure yet what color systems I'm going to use. I decided to use a sense of blue because, and purple, because that's the most common combination I'm used to with the sefirot. But we'll see as the 10 days move on what feels right for me, and I'll just remind you what I'm doing. Also, I've seen Keter sometimes is black, and I actually have black shoes and black socks as the emptiness of the void before creation, or blinding white light. So let's start then with the letter, the Aleph. And when I do the letter for myself, I do to my left first, stepping to the left, and it's a rocking movement with both heels down that I go back and forth with when I do repetitive movements. And the Aleph, when I step out, my left hand comes up, going all the way through my body to my heel, and my right hand hangs, and my head looks underneath my arm. I call it the Aleph of before creation, where I have a sense of all possibility when I let my head fall into my arm. And then I'd face forward, and the oneness of the Aleph, I put the right hand outside, left inside, and bring that energy down. So if I'm doing it repetitiously on one side, it's like this, back and forth, rocking to my left foot, and then to my right foot. And then as a practice with the Aleph, I'll do both sides. On the other side, when I step right, and come back, still right hand on the outside, as I come back to myself. And the nikudah at Keter, as we said, was the Kamatz. Keter is that place of isness, nowness, the eternal now. And it's the back to back, in towards yourself, up, ah. And there's a Kamatz on the way up, there. And then it flips, ah. It's beyond language and beyond that holistic vision of Chachma. It's just the experience as it's happening. Okay, so we're going to do this combination, and now that we've gotten to the top, to Keter, and are heading down, our meditation as we do the 10 repetitions will be from the crown to the feet. So I'm going to start going to my left and crossing over for Keter. And then on the right for Chachma. Let me step back a little bit so you can see. And to the right for the Kamatz. And Bina will be to the left. Should be a sound. So then let's do to the right now with Hesed, keeping the sound because that's the combination we're doing today. So Aleph and on the right. But in my mind's eye, I'm thinking about the right arm. Then I move to the left for Gavura. And sefirot, I have a choice. I'm going to start sefirot on the right and move to the left for the nikudah. So, the heart space, balance and harmony and beauty, and alignment with something higher. And then on the right, twice for Netzach, perseverance, determination. And then on the left side for Hod, the refinement quality, yielding and empathy. Yesod, starting on the left and crossing over. Starting on the right and crossing over. And now for Malchut, active Malchut of Asiya on the left, crossing over. And Malchut as a receiver, letting Hashem breathe me. Knees are slightly bent, hanging from a string, finding my center, groundedness. Letting the energy pass all the way down from the crown to my feet into the ground. Yehudit, this level of soul, of Keter, has to do with our uniqueness, as well as a unification with Hashem. But the sense that I bless us, that we meet each challenge in our unique way, that's our particular being manifesting fully in this world. And Asilut, the world of Asilut, which is this whole column, is connected to Chachma, is connected with the sense of the underlying unity of all reality. And so that we may keep conscious of that, even as our interconnectedness and oneness, even as each of us is a unique manifestation of Hashem in the world. So with that in mind, have a beautiful day.